This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tea Time with Trainer Sam, where I answer all your health and fitness questions. Wow, that is delicious. Follow me on Instagram at Trainer Sam and ask me any questions through the DMs on my Instagram. That way I can give you guys the best information. If you're a man, ages 18 and older, email us at stronggentscoaching@gmail.com so we can get you physically, mentally, and socioeconomically healthier and stronger in life. stronggentscoaching@gmail.com. So today, we're going to start it off like this. Yo fam, Trainer Sam, can you target fat loss? Can you target fat loss? If they want, hey Sam, I want to lose fat in my arm, my left bicep area. Can I do that? Can I target that one spot? Unfortunately, the answer is no, you can't. There's no such thing as targeted fat loss. Fat loss is systemic, meaning your body will pull fat stores, which are energy that your body is storing. It will pull energy from anywhere at any time that it sees valuable, okay? And some people do have a predisposition to store body fat in certain areas. It's just how it works. For me, it's my lower back. For some people, it's their thighs. For other people, it's their chest. For other people, it's their arms. Some people have a pretty evenly distribution throughout their body. So there is a small genetic component on whether or not you're going to store it in one place versus the other. But in general, you store body fat everywhere. Now you have subcutaneous body fat, which is the body fat that you see under your skin. That's the visible body fat we can see and grab. And you have visceral fat, which is the fat between your organs. So there's a couple different forms of fat. And then you have intramuscular fat, where there's muscle that's actually inside of your muscle cells, the muscle tissue. So when you think of body fat, right, most people just think about the one that you hold. Well, body fat is stored in many places in the body. And in some places you don't even think of. Like you have what's called like a fat pad underneath your kneecap. And it helps with cushion and absorption of force and lubrication, we'll use the word, for the knee joint to support it. So you have fat everywhere because it's essential, but too much fat is not good. Just like too little fat is not good. So if you know you're overweight and you are what we would call fat, and you're trying to lose weight, that's great, but you cannot target that body fat loss, right? So if you're looking to lose it in your stomach, you can't say, or train your stomach and lose body fat there. The body fat you're trying to burn off is the subcutaneous fat. Now that is fat right under the skin. Okay, so I don't have a lot of body fat on me, I'm sorry guys, but it's body fat that would be right under the skin. So if you could grab it and shake it around, that's the body fat that you are trying to lose. Underneath of that is your muscle tissue, your muscles, okay? So what happens when, let's say you're trying to lose fat around your arms, and you're doing a lot of bicep curls or tricep extensions and shoulder presses, so on and so forth, what you're doing is you're stimulating the muscle underneath the body fat, which is underneath the skin, right? So a lot of people feel the burn in their arms and they're like, oh, I'm burning body fat. No, what you're doing is using the muscles. The muscles create the feeling of the burning sensation. You are damaging muscle tissue through your workout, and then when you sleep and eat good, you recover and you build muscle. That muscle gets stronger, that muscle grows in size and in density, and that's you actually building the body, but that does not burn the fat. The fat is burned off through proper dieting protocols and proper exercise protocols as well. It comes off systemically over a long period of time. You should be in a fat loss phase for, let's say, anywhere between 8 and 24 weeks. It's a good phase to lose fat. And you don't want to do it too aggressive. You want to lose about between half a pound and a pound and a half of weight on the scale per week. And some weeks and that's for an average, right? That's the average weight loss. Some weeks you're going to have 0.5 pounds lost, 0.5 pounds lost. And then one week you're going to have 2 pounds lost. So right now we're at an average of like 1.25, 1.5 pounds a week, which is good, healthy weight loss. It's easier to maintain slow, steady weight loss, to maintain the weight loss itself. When you lose the weight and you get to a new weight, it's easier to maintain that weight if you have lost it slow and steadily and consistently over time. If you have rapid weight loss, rapid fat loss, what happens is you actually burn more muscle tissue that way. So your body doesn't look as good after you burn the body fat off because you don't have as much muscle to show. But also your metabolism takes a giant hit. One, because you lost muscle tissue, and muscle is very metabolic, meaning the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism will be. So we don't want to sacrifice muscle tissue. And if you lose weight too quickly, some of that weight is going to come from muscle tissue, which we don't want. So making sure we have a nice, steady, consistent, slow and steady weight loss between 8 and 24 weeks, and then taking a break, maybe some breaks in between, or a break at the end of 12 weeks, or a break at the end of 24 weeks. Every individual is going to be a little bit different. Taking a break after a significant amount of weight loss is a good idea, and then trying to maintain that weight. It will come off systemically throughout your entire body, some places quicker than others and some places slower than others. That's just how this process works. But you cannot target fat loss. Fat loss is a systemic process that comes from good dieting protocols and good exercise protocols over a long period of time. Your goal should be to make it your new life. You're not just doing this for 30 days and then you go back to the way you used to eat and live and exercise. You want to do this for an entire year, 2 years, 3 years, so that you have this new habit, this new way of living, this new body, this new mindset for the rest of your life. That's question number 1. Sip of my tea. Oh man, that is so good. Side note before I start the second question here, I did actually recently get diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a connective tissue disorder where you have a mutation in your DNA where you don't process collagen proteins properly, and therefore you have really crappy, faulty, degenerative tissues in your body. Causes a host of problems. I'm 28 years old. I started having problems around 19, so it's been almost a decade of wondering what the heck is going on. It's been constantly getting worse and progressive over time. And all the doctors I saw told me that there was nothing wrong. It was all in my head because I present as a really healthy, strong person. But every time I would go into these doctors' offices, I would tell them these exact words. Word for word, every time I sat down, they'd be like, Sam, what's going on? Well, how can I help you out? And I would say, listen, doc, it literally feels like my body's falling apart. And I said that quote every doctor's visit from 19 years old until 28 years old. And guess what? My body is literally falling apart. That's what Ehlers-Danlos syndrome does. The connective tissue, the ligaments, so on and so forth of your body are not that strong. They're very fragile. They're prone to tears. Your joints are prone to dislocations and degeneration. That's what I've been dealing with. But on the bright side, it doesn't stop me from enjoying the great things in life, like tea, exercise, my job, my best friends, people I love, and now sharing with the world everything that is stuck in this crazy mind. So that's what's going on right now. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's fireworks going off outside right now. And of course they stop when I stop talking. Oh, come on, come on. It's not even July 4th anymore. There it is. Okay, question number 2. Yo fam, Trainer Sam, what are your top 5 bodyweight exercises? Oh, okay. Top 5 bodyweight exercises. I don't know if there's really a top 5. Depends on your situation and your goal at the time, right? Depends on what you're capable of doing and what you're trying to achieve. But in general, for the everyday person, we're gonna have some basic exercises here. We're gonna have a lunge. Lunging is my favorite exercise in general. There's no better exercise than a lunge. I don't care what anybody says. No better exercise than a lunge. Then you're gonna have a squat. So you're gonna have a lunge, you're gonna have a squat. Then we're gonna have a push-up or a push-up variation and a pull-up or a pull-up variation. And I'm gonna go with a plank. Those are my top 5. I'm gonna go with a plank. I will. I wanted to use an ab rollout, but that is using some equipment. Well, I guess using a pull-up bar is equipment too. So if we're gonna go body weight, then I would throw ab roller in there instead of plank. So you got lunge, squat, push-up variation, pull-up or row variation, chin-up variation, and an ab rollout. Those are the top 5 bodyweight exercises of all time because they're so progressible and they're regressible as well. You can start them at multiple different levels. You can work on them in a progressive manner to get better at them and advance them and make them more difficult. There's tons of modifications for all of them. And the reason I threw the ab roller in there is because most people don't think it's a progressible exercise, but it really is a progressible exercise. It is the greatest core exercise of all time. And if you're to take the ab roller, AC just kicked on. Hopefully it's not too loud, but if you're going to take the ab roller, what I want you to do is get a pad and you're going to start really close to a wall, facing a wall, and you're going to roll out to the wall and roll back. But while you do this, you're going to maintain a hollow back position. Your spine should be rounded like this. A lot of people cave their back down and crush the vertebrae of the spine, and they disengage the abdominal muscles. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to work the abdominal muscles. The action of the abdominal muscles, the rectus abdominis, which is that six-pack ab, is to bring the rib cage towards the pelvis and vice versa, pelvis towards the rib cage. And the ab roller is amazing at stretching that motion out and contracting that motion back in. It's fantastic at that, but we have to maintain the proper spinal alignment while we're doing it, or we're not doing the exercise right. We don't get the benefits from it, right? So start really close to a wall, maintain that hollow back. So cat position in yoga, think of that. So do a couple cat-cow and hold yourself in the cat position when your back is rounded toward the ceiling. Roll out, tap the wall, come back. Roll out, tap the wall, come back. It should be very, very easy. Shoulders and hips should extend at the same exact time when you're rolling out. It should feel comfortable, but you should feel some tension in the shoulders, the abs, and the hips. When you feel comfortable, move the pad back, so now the distance from your knees to the wall is greater. And you do this over and over again until the wall is completely extended at a distance where your nose is almost touching the floor. And then after you do that, there's other progressions that you can do where you start on your feet, roll out until you can't roll anymore, drop your knees and come back. Then you can go to your feet. You can do it elevated, you can do it on a decline, you add a band to it. Ab roller is fantastic, but start with the basics, start against a wall, and keep that hollow back position. That's when you know your abs are engaged and working that proper range of motion, rib cage towards pelvis, so on and so forth. Top 5 greatest bodyweight exercises of all time are those 5. Lunge, squat, push variation, pull variation, ab roll out. Done. Let me know what you think though. Comment down below. And let me know what your favorite tea is also. And if anybody wants to join me on tea time, we can do a duet tea time conversation. That would be absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you like me, but I like anything that punches me in the face, not people. Okay, talking food, drinks. Like for example, I like spicy food. I like hot spicy food. Punch me in the face. I like black dark coffee. Punch me in the face. I like straight Southern tea. Punches me right in the face. I'm not a big sweets guy, never was. I'd rather have a pretzel with mustard than cake, right? Like I hate cake. Cake is disgusting, especially frosting. Anybody who likes frosting, you're a communist. Disgusting. All right, last question here. I do have a mud run tomorrow actually, so it's 9:30. I got to get up at like 5, so I love you guys, but I'm sacrificing some sleep for you guys here. Okay. Trainer Sam, what is the best equipment for building a home gym? That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm very passionate about this one actually because one of my main goals, my personal goals, is to have the coolest home gym ever, and I will make that happen. But it has to be the right house, and it's got to be the right time and situation. But there are a handful of things I would get that you should not get. My assumption is that you're just an everyday warrior and you're looking for the best equipment at a home gym. Number 1 is going to be dumbbells. Adjustable dumbbells are fantastic because they don't take up a lot of space. So if you can get adjustable dumbbells that are from 5 all the way to like 150, which I believe they do have, I would snag those. They're worth the I think there's one called Power Block, I think. I could be wrong, but it's along those lines. Those are legit. and they're worth the money, to be honest, because they take up no space at all. You can do everything with them. You got 5 to 150 pounds in such a small setting, and they're going to last a long time. And there's probably some type of warranty. I don't know, so don't quote me on that, but there's probably some type of warranty, at least for a couple of years. So if it does break or something, they'll probably be pretty fair with you in terms of what they can do for you. So I would get the power blocks, the adjustable dumbbells for sure, kettlebells if you want them. Then aside from that, you do need a bench. So I would absolutely get a bench. And that's where you can start. You can start right there. And an ab roller. Get yourself an ab roller. But if you are into more of the strength training, the powerlifting, you're going to need a power rack. They do sell some cool ones that attach to the wall and they fold up and fold down. If you have a small place, that might be something you want to look into. Or you can just go ahead and buy a standard power rack. You can buy one used on Facebook Marketplace. But a power rack is going to be the altar of your garage or your home gym, basically. That's where all the hard work is done. So you're going to need the power rack, a barbell, and Olympic plates. Now, if I was you, right now things are still kind of expensive, but I always bought used stuff, or I would pick it up from someone's garage sale, because used is cheaper most of the time, and sometimes it's even free. And that's way better than opening up your wallet and dishing out some money for basically the same thing. It just might look nicer, right? So start with what some people would call garbage and then work your way up over time. So get yourself barbell and Olympic plates. You got yourself your adjustable dumbbells and your ab roller. There's going to be a pull-up bar that comes with the power rack, so you don't even need that anymore. I would also get a set of really strong bands or a cable pulley attachment that you can attach to a hook in the ceiling or your power rack. To sell this on Amazon. That way you can do rows, pull downs, tricep extensions, bicep curls using a cable. And that's really all you need. And a bench that does incline and flat, hopefully with some wheels so you can roll that thing around. And I'm a huge fan also of aerobic work, so of some type of cardio work. So a bike is my favorite thing to do, but you can get a treadmill as well. But a bike is fantastic. You can make that resistance really, really tough and pump really hard, or you can lower it down and cruise for long distances. But you don't need a lot. You really don't need a lot at all. I think that's a fantastic setup. I'm going to be honest, at our personal training studio, we're starting to get some more stuff now, but for a long time, it was just the basics. We had a couple cable machines, a rack of dumbbells, a barbell, and a Smith machine. A Smith machine, they are a little expensive, but if you find a used one, it is a fantastic tool for an at-home gym, especially because it is safer on things like the bench press and squatting, so on and so forth. Although it may not replicate the exact movements you're trying to do for powerlifting, they do provide a great stimulus, especially for beginners, to do things like push-ups, inverted rows, bench press, incline bench press. If you have the 3D one, it goes back and forth, actually, like the bar actually slides back and forth in the middle. So you can do some really cool stuff with that. And the fact that you can just attach a bunch of things to it. You can throw your bands around that. It usually has a pull-up bar on it. But I would stick to that. Get yourself adjustable dumbbells or a rack of dumbbells, maybe some kettlebells just because they're versatile, an ab roller, a bench that does incline and flat, decline if you want it, you don't necessarily need that, a power rack, barbell, and Olympic weights, and maybe a set of bands if you got it. And if you got some money to spend, throw a Smith machine and a stationary bike in there. That's all I got, guys. That's it. That's my 3 questions. That is tea time with Trainer Sam. I'm signing out because I got a mud run tomorrow. It's over here in Englishtown, New Jersey at the Raceway track. It's the Rugged Maniac. It's like my 5th or 6th time doing it. It's not that hard, but it is fun doing it with the client. One of my clients, Jesse, my man, my brother. We're going to have a good time tomorrow. Then we're going to drink some tea afterwards. And that's it, guys. Signing off. Peace. This is how we do it. This is how we do it.